seriously consider somewhat in detail the facts adduced by Bartholomew. Okay? Now, this is page 31. It says, the general sum of these traditions, the traditions being the language and the laws that we were keeping when we were in West Africa, because we were keeping the laws of the Bible, the laws of Moses. It says, the general sum of these traditions is that the Fantis, Ashanti, Wasawa, which are people of West Africa, and in fact, all twice-speaking or Akan people were originally one tribe. Okay? So they're telling you that all the people of West Africa originally were one tribe. Okay? And they came from Israel. Okay, now you got some heathens, some native West Africans, Hamites that's still over there, but mostly the main part of those people over there are Israelites. Because the Most High told you that we would be as the sand of the sea. This is page 20. It says, although traditions asserts and other evidences favor that the belief that this people and the Fantis and other twice-speaking races are the offspring of a common stock. So what does that mean? That the people of West Africa are, in fact, most of the people of West Africa are, in fact, of one tribe. One tribe of people, which are the Israelites. Really, there are three tribes, okay? Three tribes of Israel, which are Benjamin, Levi, and Judah. Okay, they came from Israel in 70 AD. Okay, so let's go back to this other book called Ibos, Hebrew Exiles from Israel. It says, it is common knowledge in Nigeria and beyond that another nickname for the Ibos of Nigeria is the Jews of Africa. Now, in editing, I'm going to go in and I'm going to go put a video that I found up on YouTube of this African admitting that in Africa they teach the Africans that the people that came on slave ships to America and to Europe and to other various countries are in fact the true Hebrew Israelites. They actually teach the Africans that, and all the other nations know that. They teach all the other nations know that we're the Israelites. Okay? So I'm going to read this right here. This says, in the Jerusalem Post, Rabbi Capers Funny Jr., the only black Jew sitting on the Chicago Board of Rabbis, told Sue Fishkoff in an interview that several African tribes still consider themselves descendants from Hebrewic stock, including the Ibos of Nigeria and the Tutsis of East Africa, which that's bullshit. Okay, the Tutsis, the Tutsis are, oh shit, they're the fucking, they're the Egyptians. But you have probably some among them that are Israelites. It says, the Africans brought to the New World as slaves in the 18th and 19th centuries were mainly from areas where tribes with Jewish roots predominated. You see that? So we might as well go. Let's divert a little bit into the scriptures, man. So we're going to divert a little bit. We're going to go to Deuteronomy 28. And we're going to start at 15. It says, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So we know that the Israelite did not follow these laws that the Most High gave them. So they were cursed. So let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and 68 and show you one of these curses. Okay, I'm sorry, hold on. Okay, Deuteronomy 28 and 68, it says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again, which Egypt, the word Egypt is Greek for Egyptos, which means bondage. So the Lord shall bring thee into bondage again with ships. What kind of ships? Slave ships. Okay? that's why this guy right here, this rabbi, said that the Africans brought to the New World as slaves in the 18th and 19th centuries, really even before that, were mainly from areas where tribes with Jewish roots predominated. Okay? It says, the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spoke unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, which is the land of Israel. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Now when it says no man shall buy you, that means that no man is going to save you. That's why we're still here, because of the curse said that. Okay, so go back to this book called Ibos again. On page 11, since it said that we were going to be going into slavery, let's see what happens. It says to be sold on board the ship Bonds Island on Tuesday the 6th of May next at Ashley's Ferry, a choice cargo of fine 150 fine, healthy, fine Hebrews. Now it says Hebrew there, but we read that's really Hebrew. Okay. As a matter of fact, let me diverse into that real quick. So it says fine Hebrews, right? Hebos, right? So you would look at that and you would think that that's some damn African tribe. No, that's a corruption of the word Hebrew. That's supposed to be fine Hebrews. So let's go and prove it, okay? Let's go into this book some more. Let's go get it out the book. Okay, this is page 54. It says, the first British explorers who met the Ibos of Nigeria were quick to identify them as a branch of Hebrews. See that? So the first people that came into West Africa, the explorers, identified us as a branch of Hebrews. This is in this guy. This was written by this guy named Baston, Dr. Baston, in 1938, and so simply referred to them as Hebrews, which became known as Hebos, Ebos, and later Ibos. Now right here, what does it say? It says Hebos, which the guy Dr. Baston told you that's a corruption of the word Hebrew. So the crackers knew that they were selling Hebrew Israelites. Okay. It says, let me see. Okay, it says, so also, the Hebrews also referred to themselves as Hebos, a corruption of Hebrew, or they accepted to be called Hebo, Ebo, or Ibo, as a way of associating themselves with the emergent new culture of the colonial master, because you niggas like to be up on new shit. It says, this corrupt version of the English word Hebrew remained unnoticed, deliberately allowed to remain unchanged even when noticed by the British authorities, so as to serve as a mark of the derogatory distinction, that's in the curses, between the European Hebrews, who are mostly whites, which those are not the true Hebrew Israelites, and the Nigerian Hebrews, or West African Hebrews, who are mostly blacks, which are the true Hebrews. And henceforth all the early history works or books on the Ibos bore the corrupt version of Hebrew, that is Hebo, or Ebo, or Ibo, or Hebo nation, Ebo slaves, Ibos of eastern Nigeria, and etc. Okay? Alright, so let's read one more. This is page 39. It says, Ibo, on the other hand, is a corruption of the English word Hebrew, corrupted as Hebo, Ebo, or Ibo. It says the equivalent of the Jewish word Ibrit, or rather the English version of Ibrit, Jewish name for the Israelites. Okay, so